The man dropped his phone in shock as Lee Young-ho asked if Hunter Sung Suho had replied to the Black Tortoise Guild's invitation. The offer, extended to an E-rank hunter, seemed like a great opportunity. However, the man reported that Suho had declined, stating he wasn't planning to join any guild. Young-ho, bewildered, questioned how a new E-rank hunter could refuse an offer from such a prestigious guild. The man reassured him that Suho might call back once he realized how unreasonable it was to remain without a guild. Suho checked his phone, sighing at the flood of offers from various guilds since returning from the dungeon. Beru observed that many coveted Suho's talent. However, Suho noticed all the offers were for collector or porter roles, leaving him puzzled by the sudden interest. Suho disregarded the offers, aware that joining a guild would hinder his growth through the leveling system. Shifting his focus, he fixed his eyes on Raiken's Fang, ready to resume their silent exchange. Suho gripped the sword, proposing an alliance between Shadow and Fang. The sword's thoughts wavered at the bold suggestion, finding it absurd yet intriguing. After a moment of silence, the sword agreed with one condition: to be taken to another sanctuary of the Monarch of Fangs. Suho asked the sword if it knew the sanctuary's location. The sword confidently declared its ability to sense the Monarch of Fang's sanctuary, regardless of distance. However, it revealed the gate leading there had already disappeared, likely due to what humans referred to as a dungeon. Break. Suho deduced that the sanctuary must have transformed into a field-type dungeon. A field-type dungeon refers to land that has become deserted due to a dungeon break occurring at an abandoned gate where monsters now inhabit the area. Suho sent a message to his uncle, preparing to head toward the location where the sanctuary was, hidden. Evening settled over the mountains, casting shadows on the restricted area enclosed by a metal gate. Suho stood before it, aware that the place was occupied by the Hyena Guild, a group notorious for harboring gangsters. Trespassing on private property was illegal, and the area was crawling with ruffians. Beru suggested that leveling up would be a better option than listening to the sword. Suho ignored him, preparing to enter. He cloaked the surveillance camera with his aura before, delivering a powerful punch, destroying it without hesitation. With no evidence left behind, Beru couldn't help but notice how much Suho resembled the monarch in his decisive actions. Suho entered the place and halted, noticing the thick fog surrounding the area. Beru explained that the fog was magic from outer space, capable of breaking dimensional barriers and generating rifts in the world. The sanctuary he once guarded had wandered through those rifts, connecting to Earth. The beings from outer space were drilling massive holes in the dimension to send their troops in, as the stronger their magic power, the more they were affected by dimensional movement, just like Beru. Suho processed the information, realizing that the stronger beings would take time to arrive. He resolved to use the opportunity to level up. As he stood ready, monsters emerged from the fog, razor-clawed Bariga and Black Shadow Razan, slowly approaching him. The sword anticipated its chance to display its power, but Suho dismissed the idea of wielding it. As the monster lunged, Suho countered with a swift punch. Drawing from the fundamentals he learned in the tutorial, he used Ruler's authority for mid to long-range support, combined various weapons to disrupt enemies. With Storm Slash activated, he unleashed a devastating attack. By acquiring tools through shadow extraction, Suho established his new fighting style. Beru praised Suho's prowess, calling it outstanding. The sword observed in disbelief, realizing the true power of the Shadow Monarch's bloodline. The more enemies Suho faced, the longer the battle stretched, only for him to grow stronger by raising those he defeated. At this rate, the sword feared their side would inevitably lose the war. Suho commanded Arise, summoning 5 shadow soldiers, his current limit after boosting his intelligence stats. Beru remarked that the number was nothing compared to the tens of millions of soldiers the great monarch once commanded. Without hesitation, Suho punched Beru, silencing him. In the middle of the forest, the sword guided Suho to the location where the gate to the sanctuary once stood. Suho noticed people still lingering at the late hour, finding it unusual. Beru remarked that some people strive to survive in their own ways. Suho's eyes widened, questioning why they would choose to hunt magic beasts at night when daylight offered better chances for survival. A truck arrived and the hunters opened the gate. Suho watched in silence as people with blindfolds and tied hands were forced out. One man grabbed a girl's face, examining her cruelly. Baru warned against taking action, reminding Suho of their trespassing. However, before Baru could finish, Suho had already vanished. The sword observed, acknowledging that Suho had already made his move. His father, a relentless violent crimes detective. His grandfather, a legendary firefighter. And the 21-year-old Sung Suho, who grew up watching them, now walking his own path. The man holding the girl's face turned, but it was too late. Suho had already leaped into action, a habit inherited from his family, to act first whenever they witnessed injustice.